Tonight I wanted to bring you along for my dinner time, and I wanted to show you just a typical meal that Josh, myself, and Mia would have for dinner, and I thought this would be a really great one to share. So just to let you know a little bit more about me, I've tried about everything under the sun to try and lose weight, keep the weight off, stay healthy, and still be happy and for it to fit my lifestyle. And absolutely nothing has worked long term for me. That being said, this year at the beginning of September, Josh and I, it was actually his idea, but we decided to go dairy free pescatarian. So if you're familiar with those terms, you know what that means. If you're not, just the easiest way to understand it is the only type of meat that we consume is seafood, and everything that we consume is dairy free. We don't eat any type of dairy. And we started that on September 8th. We have both lost an enormous amount of weight. It's been the easiest thing we've done. We feel better as far as energy levels, digestive. All in all, it's been the best thing that we could have done as a couple, and then obviously as parents for our kids. So I just wanted to give you a little look into what a dinner like that might look like and what we would eat on a typical night, so you can see how easy it is, but it's also really, really good. It's like something that you would go and pay quite a bit of money for at a restaurant, but you can do it all yourself at home. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed or this is your first time seeing me, my name is Sarah. I hope you'll stick around and you'll see all the different seasons that I go through in my life. And I hope you love my shirt. I got this in Colorado. It's very fitting for my first cooking video. So stay tuned, and I hope you like this recipe. So tonight what I'm going to cook up, because we do have seafood, and so that is our major source of protein within our diet, is salmon. We're going to be having salmon fillets. I also got, and it'll be one fillet each, but I also picked up half a pound of shrimp, so we're going to grill up some shrimp as well. I got those fresh from my local grocery stores. Then I got some broccoli. I'm going to go ahead and cook up some broccoli to go with it. And I also found this really interesting rice. It's a new product at our grocery store, but it's called white rice, and it is dairy free, so I look forward to seeing how that turns out as well. Side note, found these when I was at the checkout. They are dairy free. Honey jalapeno wrap snacks. They're like a chip. So I'm going to have to give those a whirl. And then look at the cool quote up top. So I guess Notorious Big, that's one that he's known for. But it says, "We can't change the world unless we change ourselves." That is super fitting for what we've all been going through as a world right now. Alright, so to start off, I went ahead and I cut up my heads of broccoli and separated them into smaller stems, got rid of anything that didn't look good. So that's a whole lot of broccoli. And then I've got a pot of boiling water with a whole lot of salt. I'm going to steam them in that. And I'm also going to add a little lemon juice because I really like lemon on my steamed broccoli. And then I'll hit them with some more when they come out. So I think we can all agree that the hardest part of cooking is timing everything out correctly. But just a tip, and I'm sure most of you know this, when you're working with seafood, you're going to cook everything else first. And then you're going to cook your seafood last, because it takes hardly no time and you don't want to have to reheat it. I am waiting on my water to come to a boil for my rice, and it's just 1 1/3 cups of water that you boil. Then you add the rice, put the lid on it, take it off of the heat immediately, and it cooks in 12 minutes. And that is straight off the back of the instruction sheet. While I'm waiting on that to finish, I'm going to go ahead and season up my salmon and my shrimp. And my two favorite seasonings for salmon by far are the Bayou Bees Cajun seasoning from Berkshire's, and then Adam's Sweet and Smoky Seafood and Salmon seasoning. And I'm going to use the same thing on the shrimp, along with some olive oil. I'm just going to lightly do it in olive oil, because I'll also put a little bit of oil on our Blackstone griddle out there before I cook them as well. So I got them oiled up and my water is actually to a boil now, so I'm going to move on over to the stove. I'm going to go ahead and add the rice, put the cover on it, move it to the back burner, and go ahead and turn that off. Alright, and then I'll come back over here and let's go ahead and season up our fish and shrimp. So I've oiled the front side. One thing that I do when I'm at the store and I'm getting fresh fish, I go ahead and I ask them if they would mind trying to take off as much of the skin as they possibly can. That's just a personal preference for myself and my husband. We don't really like fish with skin on. But, you know, you do you. Whatever you like. That's just how we like it. And now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of Adams. And then I'll take these seasonings out there with me and hit the backside of them when they do get flipped over. But the more you watch me, the more you'll realize I am not a clean cook, and there is a lot of commotion in my household in the evening. Okay, so the broccoli was done, and I went ahead and drained all of the water out of it. I also hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper while it's sitting here. It's no longer on the heat, and then I've still got the rice over here cooking. We're going to move this outside and start cooking that fish and shrimp. All right, so I have already put some oil on top of my little griddle here, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding the salmon and the fish to it, seasoned side down. You're going to go about 3 minutes, especially for the salmon. Then you're going to flip it, and then you're going to go 3 minutes again. And that last minute, we're going to cover it with our stainless steel cover. It's a bowl upside down because we don't have ours here. It's with our camping stuff, and that's going to kind of season it, steam it from the outside in to where it doesn't get so crisp but not done on the inside. Alright, so we've got them on there seasoned side down. I know that some will say you should go skin side down on your fish first, but like I said, I had him remove as much of the skin as possible. I'm just going to put a little bit more oil and get them seasoned up on this side while I'm waiting on them to cook through. And then we'll go ahead and flip them. So, I tried to put them fairly close together just to keep the cooking temperatures pretty similar. And also because when I do want to cover it at the end, but it's looking like I'm probably going to have to just cover the fish. That's okay. But when I do want to cover it at the end, I'm going to need them to be real close or I'm not going to be able to cover it all. I hope that makes sense. So I'm seasoning these up. Some of you may think this is really heavy on the seasonings, but you know, it's not butter or anything like that. I did use oil, but I really think on fish especially, that's what's going to give you the best flavor. You've got to season your fish to really crisp it up on the outside and give it some really good flavor, and then hit it with some fresh lemon at the end. Alright, so we are at our 3-minute mark. You can tell that the shrimp have sized themselves up pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and flip those first because they are going to cook faster than our salmon will. And if I struggle with the tongs, don't judge me. And then we'll flip our salmon over as well and add that topper at the end to kind of steam it up for that last minute of cooking time. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to change things up. The shrimp are getting done pretty quick, so I'm going to go ahead and hit them with a bowl, kind of cover them up a little bit, and then you can see I flipped my salmon. We got about a minute and a half to go on the shrimp. Alright, so I'm going to go take the shrimp off. I've got the salmon covered now, and then we'll get together for a finished plate. It is done. We've got our salmon, our shrimp, broccoli, our rice, and a couple of lemon wedges. I'm giving Josh the majority of the shrimp because he prefers shrimp over salmon, and I'm getting the bigger fillet of salmon. But just so you can see a little bit better what we've done here, I'm going to hold my stuff. Alright, can you smell it through the camera? Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit of lemon juice. Not a little bit. I love lemon juice on fish, on fresh vegetables. Oh, you cannot beat it, right? And let's go ahead and have a taste. That's a winner. I hope you guys will watch another cooking video with me again soon. If you have any questions, like I said, drop them in the comments. I'd love to know what you and your family are having for dinner tonight, and can't wait to talk to you again.